Now, the great surprise out of these CW superhero shows is Supergirl. Supergirl moved up, from the CBS lineup from last year and had a pretty strong premiere date, and there were some pretty good ratings at the beginning of that show in the first season, but it started to peter out towards the end. And I think one of the reasons why is that Supergirl asks a lot from its viewer. It asks for you to kind of go with them on this trippy sort of alien adventure. And it fits very well on the CW, and it fits very well in the sort of televised universe that they're creating, the Berlanti-verse, because Greg Berlanti is the executive producer of all four of these shows, these three at Legends of Tomorrow. And they've made some pretty big changes, I think, with season 2. Callista Flockhart, I think, probably didn't want to deal with the fact that the show has now moved to Vancouver. Yes, all four of these shows, Legends, Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl, are all shot in Vancouver. So right now, in a street maybe 3 or 4 blocks away from here, there might be a superhero running around on the streets knocking out a bad guy, which is just insane for me. But Supergirl really works because they've kind of entered into this phase, and I think it began with the introduction of Martian Manhunter last year. We're kind of entering into this Men in Black kind of sort of vibe where the aliens are among us here on Earth. They're disguised, and obviously the DEO, the organization that Supergirl has aligned herself with, is trying to kind of deal with extraterrestrial possible threats that are on Earth, kind of an answer to what Supergirl is and Superman is. But we're starting to meet some of these characters now, and I think that they've done a pretty interesting job at fleshing some of those characters out. But obviously, the big buzz around Supergirl is that they finally just bit the bullet and introduced us to this universe's Superman. Taylor, I don't know how to say his name, but he does a very solid job at playing our Clark Kent and Superman. And it is time that we have that sort of that cousin relationship in this show. And quite frankly, the interplay and the repartee between Clark Kent and Kara as their Supergirl and Superman as they're dealing with all of these threats is fantastic. It's just filled with lightness and levity and smiles and charm and virtue, and it's stuff that we kind of missed, I think, from Batman versus Superman, and even Man of Steel. I think there's heroicism in those movies for sure, but this stuff is kind of more in the Richard Donner-esque, the Superman the movie kind of vibe, and I feel like it's the right fit. It's definitely the right tone for television and for this show. And I like the camaraderie and the relationship there, and I also like the Superman in the universe of this show has been on Earth doing really amazing things for a long time. So he kind of has this wake wherever he walks in the show, where people are just in awe of him, and it's all just played very, very well. And I'm digging the supporting cast. I'm digging the kind of new relationship that that Kara's Earth sister is starting to have with this new cop that has arrived that is friends with all of these aliens. We're starting to get a little deeper into the origins and the pressures of Martian Manhunter. That's David Harwood, who does a great job in this show. He's actually one of the lead actors in Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare as well. He's great in that game, and he was also on what was that show? Homeland. He's also on that show. Fantastic actor. Listen, I'm loving Supergirl. I don't know if it's getting the ratings of Flash and Arrow. But I think it found a great home on CW. I'm liking the changes. It's sad to see Callista Flockhart kind of leave, but it's just given our Jimmy Olsen on the show some new opportunities, which is kind of fun. I'm digging all the performances. I'm digging the kind of, the very clever location scouting that all these superhero shows have to do so that their shows don't all look the same because they're all shot in Vancouver. But I am really surprised how much I'm having fun with Supergirl. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I can't wait to see where this season takes us. All right, so I talked about the 3 CW shows, BB-8 Mug, Dark Strike Night. Tyler Hockland, thank you, The Last Disciple. Did you see how many of these things I had to remember at the same time? It was pretty hard to remember all these things at the same time. The guy playing Superman kind of has a 1950s sci-fi B-movie look. Yeah, totally Swan Gore. I didn't like the costume. I don't like the kind of overlap with the, the red sort of cape just hanging there. It does kind of look like a medieval cape, I think, that way, but it's not the classic costume that I kind of dig. But the show is great. And the actor, that Last Disciple, the actor who plays Rags reminds me of Jay Baruchel. Yeah, different kind of type for a superhero, right? He's actually the reason why I think I like Rags, or I'm starting to like Rags. I think that actor is doing a very good job, and I don't know what his name is, unfortunately. Wild Dog, Last Disciple. Last Disciple's been keeping up on all of these things as well. Oliver had to go full Jack Bauer to stop that nuke. That's true, man. Absolutely. You're as big a fan as all of these shows as I am, Last Disciple. Is this really live or is it pre-recorded? It's really live, John Matrix, but my buddy Blake here is helping me by cutting to different things as we go. We're trying to use a little TV production as best we can with this live stream. So we're having fun. But yeah, Daniel Terrell, you got my thoughts on Arrow. Let me know what you guys think. Rakomi, these shows suck. So does Westworld. Can't believe people are comparing it to Game of Thrones. It's not even close. The only show recently released worth watching is Black Mirror and Walking Dead. Well, that's a good segue. I'm going to see Black Mirror. I haven't seen any of those episodes, and I've only watched a couple or two or three of Westworld, so I didn't want to talk about that just yet. I am digging it, but it's got to get moving, right? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I've heard great things about Black Mirror. That's kind of next on my list.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.